Good morning, student. Hope you all are well. Myself, Irina, your health coordinator from Amrit INDO Canadian Academy. In the last video, we have discussed about the body cavities. In that, we have studied about interior cavities, posterior cavities, and human body system. Today, we will talk about the body system. In that, first is the central nervous system and abdominal quadrants and the regions. Now is what is central nervous system? The nervous system consists of the brain, spinal cord, sensory organs, and all the nerves that connect these organs with the rest of the body. Together, these organs are responsible for the control of body and communication among its parts. From the picture, you can easily see the nervous system. In that, it contains the brain and the spinal cord, which makes the central nervous system, and the nerves, it makes the peripheral nervous system. Here are some of the basic functions of the central nervous system. First is the sensation. The first major function of the nervous system is sensation, receiving information from the environment to gain input about what is happening outside the body or sometimes within the body. The sensory function of the nervous system registers the presence of a change from the hemostasis or particular event in the environment is known as stimulus. The senses we think of the most are the big fives, which we call as the senses, like taste, smell, touch, sight, and hearing. Now is the response. The nervous system produces a response on the basis of the stimuli perceived by the sensory structures. An obvious response would be the movement of muscles, such as withdrawing a hand from the hot stove. You can easily understand with the example that if a hot iron is lying and you know that it is hot, your central nerves start responding to you that don't touch it because it is hot. So immediately, what was your action? That you will immediately withdraw your hand. That is called response. Integration. Stimuli that received by the sensory structure are communicated to the nervous system where that information is processed. This is called the integration. Now, when we use a computer, there also is an integrated system. In that, all the information is stored. What we give the message to the computer, and that information, when it is processed, it is called the integration. Next is the controlling the body. The nervous system can be divided into two parts, mostly on the basis of the functional difference in response. The somatic nervous system, which we call as CNS, is responsible for conscious perception and voluntary motor responses. What do you mean by voluntary? Voluntary is that which is under your control. What if you want to pick up the pen from the table, you will immediately move your hand forward and pick the pen from the table. That is called voluntary motion. The autonomic nervous system, which we call as ANS, is responsible for involuntary control of the body, usually for the sake of hemostasis, regulation of the internal environment. Sensory input of autonomic function can be from sensory structure, tune, to external or internal environmental stimuli. The motor output extends to smooth and cardiac muscle as well as glandular tissue. For example, your heart is not under your control. It is a involuntary control because it is under the control of your body. You never give a command to your heart that start beating or stop beating. It is under the control of the body, that's why it is beating. It is not in your control. That is called the involuntary control. There is another division of the nervous system that describes functional response, the enteric nervous system, which we call as ENS. It is responsible for controlling the smooth muscles and glandular tissues in your digestive system. It is a large part of the PNS and is not dependent on the CNS. Here are the different parts of the CNS and their functions. First we will see the brain. It comes under central nervous system. Perception and processing of sensory stimuli, somatic, autonomic. Execution of voluntary motor response is under somatic. Regulation of hemostatic mechanism, it comes under the autonomic. Now is the nerves, which is under the PNS. Fibers of sensory and motor neurons, it is somatic or autonomic. Digestive tract under the ENS. The enteric nervous system located in the digestive tract is responsible for the autonomous function and can operate independently of the brain and spinal cord. Spinal cord, central nervous system, initiate of reflexes from the ventral horns and lateral horns. Gray matter, pathway of the sensory and motor functions between the periphery and the brain. Ganglia, reception of sensory stimuli by the dorsal root and the cranial ganglia. It is somatic or autonomic, rely on the visceral motor responses by autonomic ganglia. Now comes the abdominal quadrant. Abdomen is divided into 4 quadrants, taking navel or umbilicus as a point of relevance. From the picture you can easily see that your abdomen is divided into 4 parts. First is the right upper quadrant. Next is the right lower quadrant, left upper quadrant and left lower quadrant. 4 quadrants in the abdominal area are left lower quadrant, left upper quadrant, right upper quadrant and right lower quadrant. Here are some of the different organs in the 4 quadrants. From the picture you can easily see what lies in the 4 quadrants. Here are the major organs in the 4 quadrants already seen in the picture. Now we will study. Here are some of the major organs that you will find in each of the 4 abdominal quadrants. Right upper quadrant, liver, stomach, gallbladder, duodenum, right kidney, pancreas and the right adrenal gland. In the left upper quadrant lies your liver, stomach, pancreas, left kidney, spleen and the left adrenal gland. In right lower quadrant, appendix, reproductive organs, right ureters. In the left lower quadrant, left ureters, reproductive organs. For the note, all 4 quadrants contain portions of the small and large intestine. Now comes the abdominal region. Right hypochondriac region, right lumbar region, right iliac region, left hypochondriac region, left lumbar region and left iliac region. Now is the abdominal regions. We will study hypochondriac region, left and right. The prefix hypo means below or under. The word chondriac means the cartilage, which is referring to the cartilage of the ribs. When we put them together, this is the abdominal region that is under the ribs. So you have a right and left hypochondriac region. Next is the lumbar region, left and right. The word lumbar refers to the vertebra in your lower back, which are the bones nearest to the lumbar region. That's where this region gets its name. Iliac region, left and right. The top of the hip bone has what is called the iliac crest, and that's the bone closest to the iliac region. Epigastric region, the prefix epic means above or over and gastric means stomach or belly. Therefore, this is the region over and above the belly. Umbilical region, this is easy to remember because the umbilical region contains your navel, which is also called the umbilicus. The navel is the landmark for the 4 quadrant point of insertion And it can also help you remember that the umbilical region make up the middle of the 9 abdominal regions. Hypogastric region, we have already learned that hypo means below and gastric refers to the stomach or belly. So when we put the two together, we know that the hypogastric region is the region below the belly. To remember this phrase, we can learn like that: Hector loves Isabel every uneasy hours. Right hypochondric region, you will find organs such as liver, gallbladder, right kidney, portion of small and large intestine. Epigastric region, this region contains the portion of liver as well as the stomach, pancreas, duodenum, spleen and adrenal gland. Left hypochondric region contains the spleen, large and small intestine, left kidney, pancreas, stomach and tip of the liver. Right lumbar region, you will find the portion of ascending colon, small intestine and right kidney. Umbilical region, here you will find the duodenum, small intestine as well as the transverse colon. Left lumbar region, you will find the parts of descending colon, small intestine, left kidney. And in the right iliac region, here you will find the appendix, cecum, ascending colon and the small intestine. Hypogastric region, you will find the gallbladder, portion of the sigmoid colon, small intestine and reproductive organs. Left iliac region, you will find the parts of sigmoid colon, ascending colon and small intestine. The picture you can easily see where all your system lies in the abdominal region. Here is the summarization that we have studied today about the CNS and its functions: abdominal quadrants, abdominal quadrant organs, abdominal regions and abdominal region organs. Hope you like the video. Thank you.